So, again, drivers meeting. Welcome to the Bell Racing Sebring 14-hour TireRack.com Champ Car Endurance Series race. Bit of a mouthful. As usual, want to extend well, I'm really messing that up this time, aren't I? Want to extend a big welcome to our sponsors, TireRack.com, Willwood Brakes, Frozen Rotors, Racing Radios, Lifeline Fire Suppression Systems, RVA Graphics and Wraps, and this race and in the future, Bell Racing. Also, our Sportsmanship Award, which is brought to you by the Chandler School, and our class sponsors, Krispy Kreme, Discovery Parts, and MoneyShiftRacing.com. As always, we appreciate all of our sponsors, and we're happy to have them on board. And speaking of thank yous, I've been a little negligent in mentioning this in the video meetings because I usually do it in the in-person ones. But just want to thank you guys for racing with Champ Car. I usually kind of lay out my expectations. I hope people have a really good time at the event. I hope their car comes off the track in as good or better condition than it went on the track. And most importantly, I hope you have a good enough time so that you come back and race with us again. So if we can get to that point at the end of the weekend, that'll be great. So let's jump into some Sebring things here. First thing right out of the gate, big important thing for Sebring. Remember, this is still 2020 in the year of the COVID. And with that in mind, masks. Sebring has made the decision to require masks on property everywhere, all the time, no exceptions. That means on pit lane, in the paddock, walking around in your garage area, in your hauler, in the bathroom, wherever you are within the gates of Sebring, they want everyone wearing masks all the time, no exceptions. Your balaclava can count because that's a facial covering over your face. But other than that, it just is what it is. It's their place, it's their rules, and that's what we need to agree to and abide by in order to run the event. To give you an indication of how serious they are about it, we, Champ Car, will get 2 warnings if someone on the property is not wearing a mask. After the second warning, the Sebring staff will shut down the race until we get the situation with the masks back under compliance again. They're serious about it. They've done it with other clubs. So again, passing no judgment, just saying those are the rules and we need to follow them. So masks everywhere on property all the time, no exceptions. Additionally, waivers. Sebring wants the waivers signed in person at the gate when you roll in. It's basically how we normally do waivers. You sign the waivers at the gate when you get there, only this time you're going to have to sign 4 waivers instead of the usual 1. So the reason I put that out there now is account for a little bit of extra time when you roll through the gate. Everybody in the vehicle is going to have to sign the waiver in person. It's just the way Sebring wants it done, and it is what it is. Last thing, if you've been reading the emails, you probably already know this, the garage situation. We have half the garages. To comply with their decision on social distancing, they have limited us to using only every other garage. So basically, we're going to be using every even numbered garage. It'll be in the garage assignments when they come out. As usual, you'll be used to seeing them in the way we format them for Sebring. But the bottom line is that we only have half the number of garages. Still the same setup on pit lane. You'll still be either in your own pit or sharing one or doubled up with your team. So pit lane will be run as usual, but we're going to have only every other garage. There's another race that comes to Sebring right after us. They kind of make a big deal about it. It's only 12 hours. It's 2 hours shorter than us, so I'm really not sure what the big deal is, but they seem to think it's a big deal for 12 hours, so good for them. But this race requires a lot of setup and roll-in. So the grass area behind the garage building is off limits because they have to set up vendors and haulers and team places and whatnot. The Sebring folks are going to be in there striping things out on the ground. Other vendors are going to be coming in and dropping off equipment. So we cannot paddock anywhere on the grass area there at Sebring. We're going to have to paddock over on the concrete side along the back stretch. If you've been to Sebring before, you know what I'm talking about there. It's to the south. There's a fence that divides the grass from the concrete side. But we'll have somebody at the crossways there to direct you. But basically, I've had a couple people that have contacted me about to the north, to the south, by the gas pumps. Some space you've usually paddocked in the past and you like it. All I can tell you is what Sebring has told me, and that is that the grass is off limits. If you are paddocked on grass or camping on grass or parked on grass, you cannot be there and you need to move. You need to move over onto the concrete. So again, just something we're going to have to comply with while we're there. So let's just be ready to roll with it and make the weekend roll by. We need to be out Saturday night after the race. This is not really unusual, same as we've done before. We're setting a 1 p.m. time on it just because we got to give everybody a time, but I'm really not that hard over about it. Just as long as you're out before the next customer is in Sunday morning, then you'll be fine. So we got to be out. If you are going to be spending the night somewhere nearby, or if you're at the 7 Hotel or one of the other hotels nearby and you need to leave your trailer there overnight and pick it up Sunday morning, you can just pack up, move out of the paddock. You can drop your trailer over along the midway. That's that long area along the hotel that we usually stage before we go into the track. It's called the midway. You can drop your trailer there. You can spend the night wherever you're going to be, come back Sunday morning and hook up to it. We just have to be out of the paddock, meaning over the bridge and outside of that infield paddock area there. So, and it just has to do with the customer coming in the next morning. So if you got any questions, shoot me an email, or you can find me at the track and I'll be happy to answer them. But with that said, let's move on to the race itself. As per usual, we'll be loading in on Friday. Tech registration will be open. If you have a 2020 gear check on your driver gear, you do not need to come and get it teched again. If you do need to have your gear check will be open near where we do the vehicle tech. Just look for the person there at the table and have your stuff checked out. But if you've got a 2020 sticker on your helmet, you do not need to have it rechecked. Car tech. If you have a 2020 Champ Car annual tech inspection sticker on your car, you do not need to come and have your car teched again. If you need to bring your car through tech, no problem. They'll be open and ready to go. Please have all your paperwork filled out in advance, your VPI system, all your parts valued, have that sheet filled out. Obviously, if you have an engine swap in the car, have your swap paperwork filled out in advance. Come get your car teched. I've looked quickly through the tech stuff, and I think I have 24 of you guys that actually need a full tech inspection, so there shouldn't be a long line at tech on Friday. So if you don't need to come to tech, don't come to tech. Take your logbook, go see the girls in at registration. I think Laura is working registration for us this time. Yes. So go inside and see Laura, get your stuff taken care of, you'll be fine. So only go to tech if you need a full 2020 tech inspection on your car. Friday, the practice day. Many of you have asked me about the practice day. We are running a test and practice session Friday on the track. We plan to go green around 9 o'clock. We'll stop for an hour break from 12 to 1. And we will run again from 1 to 4. It's $450. Email me, dana.morrison@champcar.org. It's in the email, the final information email, and it's posted up on the discussion forum for the Bell Racing Sebring race. Shoot me an email with whatever email address you use for PayPal. We will generate a separate invoice and send it to you. It's not part of our registration system. It'll be a separate PayPal invoice. Pay through that. Take care of you on a separate spreadsheet. When we get there Friday, we'll stick a sticker on your car that allows you to go out past pit out, and away you go. Several of you have written in and paid, and you're good. About maybe 6 or 7 of you have requested it, and we haven't seen your payments come through yet. So if you've requested it, check your, if you haven't paid, check your PayPal invoices and make sure you get that paid. Yes, you can pay it at the track, but it'll make it a lot easier for everybody if you paid for it in advance. The way it's going to run will be sessions, probably 45 or 50 minutes, but we are going to take a break for a little bit every hour, partly for the corner workers and partly for my staff on pit lane and partly for you guys. Sebring is a very, very rough, brutal track, and I really don't want people tearing their cars up. It's a test and a practice session, so I want you guys to take a break every once in a while and check the cars out, and I don't want to turn it into another 8-hour race. In the morning, I will allow passengers in the car, provided the passenger has the same safety equipment as the driver. Obviously, belt systems and whatnot, a appropriate racing seat, head and neck restraint, the whole 9 yards. The passenger must be in the same full gear and restraint as the driver. And in the morning sessions, it's going to be point by passing only. As long as we've got passengers in the cars out there and we're giving instruction on point by only. In the afternoon from 1 to 5, we're going to open it up and you can do open passing, but there will be no passengers permitted in the car in the afternoon. That's the plan as it is right now. If you guys want to do something different, I'm always open to suggestions, but that's how I'm kind of planning to lay it out right now. So I hope that helps. Again, more information is included in the email and it's posted up on the website. Moving on to the race itself. Race is going to run 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Saturday, as per usual. Have your car in the pit stall, driver in, buckled up, ready to go no later than 8:45 and be ready to roll out. We will do Jimmy's magical cell phone. He will pick a random pit stall, and we will go from that pit stall all the way down pit lane to one end, pick it up the other one, come all the way back. That's how we're going to roll out on pit lane. Same way we always do it. You guys should be used to that by now, so no problem there. So once the race goes green, you guys know the drill. We go from green to checkers, and there'll be absolutely no issues, right? Not a single flag going to get displayed all day. No yellows, no double yellows, no blue flags, no nothing, right? In the event that I'm wrong about that, and you guys actually have to do something, somebody has a chance to break down or run out of fuel, please remember the yellow flag rules. Standing yellow flag, 70% race speed, no passing. Again, Champ Car uses line of sight rules. That means if you can see the flag, that flag is for you. You can see the standing yellow flag, then you're under the control of that standing yellow flag. Once you slow down to 70% race speed, no passing. When you get into the actual incident area, you'll see a waving yellow. That's 50% race speed, 50% of your race speed. Slow down because you're in the area where the incident is. At the very least, there's a disabled car. Possibly I've got recovery people out there, maybe rescue people, people out of the trucks, walking around, hooking up another vehicle. One of your fellow racers is out there broken down or has a problem. 50% race speed, no passing until you're past the incident and you can see the next flag station and see that there is no flag displayed at the next flag station. Then you can go back to racing. Remember that no passing means no passing, not alongside, not getting ready, not staged for a pass, not anything. No passing means nose to tail, go through the accident area carefully. When you get to the other side of it, then you go back to racing. I know there's some other clubs that allow you to go through side by side, or they talk about where you complete the pass and everything else. I want you single file as you go through the incident area. It's only a short distance. Sebring has a lot of flag stations, and it's only a short distance when they do local pickups like that. So you're going to see one station with a standing, one station with a waving, and then you go right back to racing again. So please get slowed down. 70% for standing, 50% for waving until you get past the incident. The other way you'll see yellow flags displayed is a double yellow. That means you're putting the pace car out. The important thing for the double yellow is the pace car. I've said this before, seems to be working out well, but if you're the leader, congratulations. I'm happy for you. Good job on being the leader. Please know you're the leader and look for the pace car. If you see the double yellows out, look for the pace car. Expect Jackie to be coming off pit lane. Look for her, pick her up. Please don't race my pace car. Jackie will enjoy the chase, but it just creates a problem for everybody. So please be looking for the pace car. Under the double yellow, you should see something out your windshield. The reason we have the double yellow out is because I need the field collected and packed together tightly so that we can work whatever incident we have. I need you packed up together tightly so the guys can get out and work on the track. So out your windshield, if you're the leader, you should see the pace car. If you're not the leader, you should see one of your other fellow racers. If you're running around under double yellow and you're not seeing anything out your windshield, catch up to the pack. A standing yellow, a double yellow is still two standing yellows. That's 70% race speed, okay? Unless you're in the incident area where it'll also be waving, but that's 70% race speed. Catch up to the pack so we have everybody nice and tight together. We can finish whatever the cleanup is and ultimately get you back to racing because that's what we want. I want to give you guys as much green flag racing time as I possibly can. So the quicker you guys get tightened up, the quicker we can clean the incident, the quicker we can go back to racing. If you want more information on the flags and how we police the flags and whatnot, please watch the Welcome to Champ Car, New Driver, New to Champ Car video. It's posted on our forum under the race event section. There's also a link to it here in the final information email. So enough said about that, I think. So as the race lays out, from time to time, you guys are going to need to come in and pit for some reason. It's a 14-hour race. I doubt anybody can go the entire 14 hours on one tank of fuel. So you're going to have to come in and take fuel. So remember our pit lane rules. Rule number one on pit lane, everybody stops at pit in. Everybody stops at pit in. I don't care if you're coming in for a regular fuel and driver change or you're going behind the wall or what the issue is. Everybody stops at pit in. They will put a timer on your car and they will send you on your way. You go to your pit stall, do whatever you're going to do, finish up, head back out. Second rule of the pit lane, everybody stops at pit out. Everybody stops at pit out all the time, no exceptions. I don't care if you just did a quick stop and a check. I don't care if you were behind the wall for 4 hours. It doesn't matter. Everybody stops at pit out. The pit out marshal will take the timer off your car if you have one. If you come behind the paddock, maybe you don't, but they're going to take the timer off your car. They're going to check your driver wristband. Be prepared to show your driver wristband. They're going to check your window net, and they're going to do a quick cursory inspection of your driver safety gear. I need to make my liability statement here. It is your responsibility to buckle your driver into your car properly, not Champ Car's. Your responsibility. We are doing a courtesy check to see if there's anything that's clearly visibly out of place. If it's something we can quickly help you correct on spot, we will. But if we can't, we're going to turn you around and we're going to send you back to your pit stall, and that's going to cost you and your team time. We're also going to be checking your helmet to make sure you have your 2020 gear check sticker visible on your helmet. So be prepared to stop and show these things. The quicker you get that done, the quicker we'll release you. 5 minutes on pit lane. We'll talk a little bit more in a minute here about the 5-minute thing, but 5 minutes on pit lane. If you have to spend the full 5 minutes, please don't send your car down to pit out with 3 minutes remaining on the timer, because we're going to have to find some place to put you. If you come down there to pit out and you've got 10 seconds remaining on it, no problem. They'll give you a quick countdown. They'll send you on your way. But if you're fast and efficient, you've got all that time, please spend the extra time in your pit stall and check your car out. Make sure your car is in good shape. Spend the extra time buckling your driver in, whatever. But please don't send your car down to pit lane with a lot of time remaining on the timer. So we talked about the 5-minute thing. Let me cover that. Remember that 5 minutes attaches if you take fuel. Fuel is defined as the gas cap coming off the car or fueling equipment going over the wall. Now, if somebody puts a fuel jug on the wall and you realize it's a mistake and you decide not to fuel the car, again, nobody's going to beat you up over that. But if you take the gas cap off the car, you have opened the fuel system up. That's a fuel stop. Doesn't matter if you take a quart or you take 12 gallons. That's a fuel stop, and you must spend 5 minutes on pit lane, measured from pit in to pit out. Again, that's what the timer is for. We see this a lot recently, and I think it bears mentioning. Please leave the timer alone. I see a lot of guys picking the timer up and looking at it and checking their time. If you want to look at it, that's fine, but please leave it alone. I see people picking it up and handling it. You've got gloves on. If you bump it and it stops timing, then I'm going to assume that you've got time remaining on the timer, and I'm going to hold you at pit out until I'm absolutely confident that the 5 minutes are up. So please leave the timer alone. Don't be picking it up and playing with it. It just causes problems. So just leave the timer alone on the car. If you are taking fuel, the minute you crack that gas cap off the car, everyone over the wall must be in full safety gear. You're allowed a maximum of 5 people over the wall during the fuel stop, and everybody must be in full gear. That's full driver gear head to toe. That's socks, suit, gloves, balaclava if it's required, if you have facial hair, full face helmet with the visor down. The only thing that's not on that list is shoes. You can wear ordinary lace-up, closed-toed shoes so you're not tearing up your expensive driving shoes walking around on pit lane. But other than that, you got to be fully encased in the same SFI or FIA-rated driver safety gear that you wear when you're driving the car. The 5 people over the wall are very important. Remember, the most important person in the group is probably the fire extinguisher person. One person handling the fire extinguisher, which must be a 10-pound ABC dry chemical fire extinguisher charged with the pin pulled, ready to go. We want that fire extinguisher person about 10 feet back from the fueling, far enough back to where if something happens, they can spray down the fire. Not so close that they're in the fire and they become part of the problem. Want them far enough back so that they're separated and they're not encased in the problem. Our rules do allow another type of fire extinguisher on pit lane. If you're curious about it, read the rules. I'm not going to mention it here because if you don't know what that fire extinguisher is and how it works, you probably should not be using it. But yes, there is a different type that's available. But for most of you, 10-pound dry chemical ABC fire extinguisher charged with the pin pulled, ready to go. It's very important. The number one problem we see during pit stops for fueling is visors up. You guys are putting your stuff on, you're waiting for your car to come in, and you just forget to put the visor down. It happens all the time. It bears mentioning that my folks on pit lane are there to help you. Their sole purpose in life is to help you get through the race safely. No one is looking for reasons to ping you or penalize you or anything. They're there to help you. So if one of my people comes over and gives you one of these things, it just means close your shield. We see people getting in the car with no gloves on or something. So if they point at their hands, give you the glove sign or give you the face shield sign, just get those little things taken care of and get back to your fuel stop. Second person on the fuel stop is the person with the fuel jugs. One person handling fuel jugs, 5-gallon jugs with a hose. No funnels or anything like that. Hose directly into the fuel cap on the car. One jug over the wall at a time. No throwing the jugs or double handling jugs or anything like that. One jug, one person handling the stuff. Remember, on the fuel stop, slow is fast. You take your time and you move deliberately and safely, it'll be a lot faster than rushing and hurrying. You're allowed the driver in and the driver out, and one person to help the drivers getting in and out of the car. Those are the only 5 people allowed over the wall during the fuel stop, and those are the only things that they're allowed to do. One person with the fire extinguisher, one person with the fuel jugs, driver in, driver out, and an aide to help the drivers. The only thing you can do from the time that gas cap comes off to the time you're done with the fuel stop is change the driver. You can't change water bottles. You can't change cameras. You can't check lug nuts. You can't add oil. You cannot do anything to the car other than change the driver and fuel the car. The fuel stop is done when the gas cap goes back on and the drain pan, the 3-inch hard-sided drain pan that's supposed to be underneath the gas cap where you're conducting the fueling, and the empty fuel jug and all the stuff from your fuel stop is back over the wall. Essentially, we want all the Bernie bits back over the wall and the gas cap back on before you do anything else to the car. Once that's back over the wall and the gas cap is on, then you can have as many people over the wall servicing the vehicle as you want. Then you can change out your cool suit water. You can switch out your camera batteries. You can recharge your nitrous bottles. You can put on your slicks. And I'm just kidding about the nitrous bottles and the slicks, okay? I can see Polly laughing in the bottom corner there. Some of you guys should be paying attention here, all right? So once the fuel cap goes back on, you can do the rest of your pit stop, okay? But remember, no working on the car other than changing the driver in between the gas cap off and gas cap on. I use this example often. I'm going to use it again here now. Most of you can go close to 2 hours in the car. That's 120 minutes. Out of the fuel stop, it takes most of you guys about 2 minutes to put a full fuel load in your car. I'm asking for your complete undivided attention on fueling for 2 minutes out of every 120. Please give me that. Just focus on the fueling. Don't get distracted. Just keep your safety stuff in mind, and let's not have any problems on pit lane. We rarely do have problems, but a fire problem is a big one, okay? So give me your attention on the fueling for just those 2 minutes, please. Also, while we're talking about pit lane, it's a good time for me to look down here at my notes and remember to remind you guys, no open-toed shoes on pit lane, okay? Guys, no high heels, none of that kind of stuff, all right? If I can see your toes, I'm going to ask you to change your shoes. Some sort of lace-up, closed-toed shoes on pit lane, please. Moving along to, again, pit out. Remember to be ready to show your timer, your wristbands, all that kind of stuff when you get down there. If you did not take fuel, remember the 5 minutes. If you did not take fuel, you do not have to spend the 5 minutes on pit lane. It's your responsibility to tell the person at pit out that you did not take fuel. They might know before you get there because one of the pit marshals is going to call and tell them that you're on the way. But stop, show your wristband, get your driver helmet thing checked. They're still going to check your driver safety gear. Don't just assume that because you didn't take fuel, you can roar past. Everybody stops at pit out and goes through the same procedures all the time, whether you took fuel or not. The only difference is that you don't have to spend the full 5 minutes. Okay? If you got any questions on that, please review the new driver video that I mentioned before. It's on the website. Otherwise, get me at the track and we can talk about it. Pit lane speed, 20 miles an hour. We've had a lot better success, a lot more control on pit lane since we started lowering the speed a little bit. So we're going to call it 20 miles an hour. Right now, I have 93 cars signed up for this race. I'll take a few more if I can get them. Pit lane at Sebring is kind of narrow, and that's a lot of cars. So 20 miles an hour on pit lane, it really reduces the possibility of problems on there. Things seem to go a lot smoother on pit lane for us since we did that. So 20 miles an hour on pit lane. Thank you for everything. And on that, I'm looking in the corner of my screen. If Paulie's got anything else, and I don't think he does. So wait, he's got a finger up. We might have something.
Somebody's going to ask this question because I believe there was another league that did it. if I'm in the race car, I'm wearing my helmet, but I do not have a balaclava. Do I have to have a mask on?
So I understand where the question is coming from. And are they able to hear your question tonight, Polly? Or do I need to repeat the
Yes.
question? Okay, good. So here's my canned answer, because I know everybody out there is nodding your head going, yeah, I'm the only one in the car. Who am I going to bother? Sebring's rules and Sebring's explanation to me was masks are required on the property 100% of the time, everywhere, no exceptions. If they see you, they are going to come to me and tell me that you need to put a mask on. So I'll leave that little dangling chat out there for those of us who are from Florida and get that joke. If they see you, I don't know how well they can see into your car as you're zipping by at a blazing 45 miles an hour or whatever your Mach 1 device can do. They're going to come to me. So I will repeat Sebring's rules. Masks are required on property everywhere, all the time, no exceptions. If they see you, they're going to come talk to me. So let your conscience be your guide at that point. There you go. I hope that answers the question as vaguely as I possibly can. Thanks, Paulie, for picking in on that one. I appreciate it. If you got any other questions, again, please watch the Welcome to Champ Car video. Read through the supplemental rules. The rest of the times for the event are in the supplemental rules. I won't bore you with them here, but download those and read through them. All the information I've been putting out about the race, Paddock stuff, mass and everything is also posted up on the forum. And we're getting close to the end of the year. I think we only have one race after the Sebring race, so it probably bears mentioning at this point that 2020 has been a really interesting year. There's an old Chinese curse about may you live in interesting times, and 2020 has certainly been interesting times. So for those of you that have done these races, for those of you that have undergone hard times with COVID, we appreciate you racing with us. We appreciate you guys sticking with us through a very difficult year. We're rolling the schedule out for 2021. We've already been in touch with tracks about how things are going to be set up and run. Mike and I were actually talking to a track the other day about 2022 dates. So we're looking very far out in the future. We hope you guys have a really good time when you race with us, and we hope that you have a good enough time to come back and race with us again. So, all right, guys, that's all I've got for now. Thank you very much. Look forward to seeing you guys at Sebring. Thank you.
All right, that'll do it. Well done.
Thanks, Paulie.
Absolutely.